Okay, something I wanted to talk about, that is Jennifer Lawrence appearing in the next X-Men movie next year, X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, obviously, she started out in the X-Men franchise in 2011's X-Men First Class. My favourite film of that franchise, has to be said. X-Men Days of Future Past, she came back in 2014, and then again in 2016's X-Men Apocalypse. All pretty good films. X-Men Apocalypse maybe not so good, but it was pretty much felt that she phoned her performance in the X-Men Apocalypse movie, and that she didn't really want to be there. Obviously, the makeup process that she has to go through is quite, well, something to endure, basically, and she has actually said that. It's no secret that she didn't really appreciate going through that process. It is quite toxic as well, and she's actually spoke about it in recent interviews, particularly with Entertainment Weekly. Now, they've done an issue where they're talking about next year's X-Men Dark Phoenix movie, which comes out in about a year's time, early November 2018, and she's going to be in it again. And it's directed by Simon Kinberg, as you can see here, the guy on the right. He's very good friends with Jennifer Lawrence. He wrote the other X-Men movies that she was in, and she basically said, as you can see here, she always said she was going to do it if he directed it. Well, he is directing it, so now she's basically said, shit, I kind of fucked myself there. Now, obvious question, is there a video of her fucking herself? Is it out there on the cloud? You know, how are we going to get hold of that? Yeah, I'm joking. It had to be done, sorry, yeah. But no, seriously, it makes you wonder, is she going to be phoning her performance in this movie? Because it was fairly evident, particularly in the last one, that she didn't want to be there. The makeup that they put on her, I mean, it was barely even makeup on her face. It was more like a Halloween mask, or that's how it looked anyway. And it was only from the neck up. So it wasn't really the best performance that we could have got. And it begs the question, are we going to get that again, basically? I mean, I understand that she's not under contract as such anymore, like she was with the last movie, but she said she was going to do it, and she's living up to her promise, I suppose. But she said right there in the interview, she doesn't really want to do it. So it does make you wonder what kind of performance we're going to get from her. Now, the Mystique character to me isn't really one that should be at the forefront of the movies, perhaps as much as she has been in the more recent ones. To me, it seems like they're only really putting her at the forefront of these movies because they've got Jennifer Lawrence on board, and she's a big name, and she's quite a talented actress as well, it has to be said. So I think this really is an example of the movies serving the actor rather than the actor serving the movies, which isn't a good thing. I mean, sometimes you can win out with that, but really I don't think that it worked in the last movie anyway with Apocalypse. So we will see anyway what comes of this. Now, like I said, there are 3 movies next year, 3 X-Men movies. Early on in the year, I think February time, we're getting one called New Mutants, and there's a trailer out for that at the moment. It looks like a new spin on the X-Men franchise. Then later on we're getting Deadpool. I think that's more into the sort of spring, summertime, and then at the end of the year, like I say, we're getting this movie, X-Men Dark Phoenix, which is what I'm talking about here today. So the X-Men franchise isn't my favourite franchise out there, but it is very good. I mean, even at its worst, perhaps X-Men Apocalypse, maybe X-Men Origins Wolverine, I still quite like those films anyway. I mean, clearly they are the weakest in the franchise, but I can still watch them and enjoy them. So I'm sure that with this film, with her performance as well, even if she is phoning it in, I'm sure it'll still be something to look forward to. So I don't mean to sound negative about this movie or Jennifer Lawrence herself, but it's kind of hard not to be concerned when you read things like this. So anyway, Brand X Reviews, that's the channel. You can follow us on the social media. I will be posting updates as this movie and the other X-Men franchise movies progress. So you can follow us on Facebook, YouTube obviously, and also on Instagram. I post things there occasionally. So for now, I think I'll just sign off and say thank you very much for watching.
Was there always a buffer involved? There's someone in between you and your possible superiors who gave the actual order.
Right, yeah, a buffer. The family had a lot of buffers.
Mr. Chichi, you may find this very amusing, but I promise you the members of this committee do